Well, hello there and Happy New Year. This is Dr. Mark Stickney from the San Antonio location of Spay Neuter Network. I hope everyone had great holidays and a fun new year, fun and safe. And I hope that 3 days into things that New Year's resolutions have not already been broken. It's interesting. It's funny this time of year. I always kind of think about back on the year that's been and New Year's resolutions. And, it doesn't really matter what it is that you're resolving to do, what the specifics are, that when you really break it down and look really closely at it, what we are resolving to do is to make ourselves better in the coming year. And that is exactly the kind of thing that we are wanting to do here at Spay Neuter Network. We had a great 2023, and now we're going to make 2024 even better. And there's so many things to look back on and be thankful for. The We would really like to thank everybody who donated during the holidays to support our mission. As everyone who donated know, and anyone who's new here may not know, we are dedicated to making wellness and spay neuter care to as many pets as possible, as affordable as possible to everybody in the community. So if you have donated to our mission at all, thank you so much. All of our programs help divert pets from going to animal shelters, keeping them in their homes, and that's always a great thing when you can have individualized care and be loved by a family. So that is a great thing. We would also like to say thank you very much to Fish City Grill in Lake Highlands. They donated 15% of yesterday's proceeds to the Spay Neuter Network. And that was fantastic. And thank you to everyone who went there and enjoyed yourselves there, because some of that money that you spent came right back to us. And Spay Neuter Network will be back there on March 5th to have another night there. And please go back out and enjoy yourselves, and know that as you're having a good time, you're also helping us to be able to support pets in the community. Um, During this live cast, please, I'll be looking at your comments as I'm going along, and so please put in your questions there, and I will try to get to as many of them as possible. And in the next 30 minutes or so that we have, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about care for our pets here during these winter months when it's chilly, and what we can do to help keep them safe and warm, just like we would want to be. So think about that, put your questions in, and then in the meantime, Happy New Year again, or perhaps I should say Happy Neuter Year. And in order to celebrate the neuter year, Spay Neuter Network has $20 neuters for all male dogs in the North Texas clinics. Sorry, my friends here in San Antonio, that does not apply to our clinic, but if you are up in the North Texas clinics, this is the month to get your dog neutered for $20. So get Fido neutered and get that checked off for the new year, and you are in you're set with having that done, and can check it off your list of things to do. So, looking here at some questions that are already coming in. Let's see here. What do we have? Let's see. I have a question about my cat eats and drinks water but doesn't gain weight. There are lots of reasons why pets may not gain weight. One of the most common things is GI parasites. That's especially common in younger animals. So one of the first places to start with that would be to have a fecal exam performed by a full-service veterinarian, and see if that is one of the easier things to rule out, if that's one of the problems there. After that, the list is really, really long. So definitely something that you want to get checked out at your veterinarian. What is the best age to neuter a male cat? In my opinion, you want to do that before they are old enough to realize that they can start urine marking their territory, which happens at sexual maturity, which is about 6 months of age. So you can have your cat safely neutered when they are 2 months old, 2 pounds in size. So anywhere between that 2 months to that 6 months is the ideal age to get it done. And when they're those little kittens, they don't even know anything happened. So it's a great time to get that procedure done. Complications from neuters. So every surgical procedure has complications associated with it. It doesn't matter if it's us going in for surgery. It doesn't matter if it's pets going in for surgery. It doesn't matter how routine the surgery is. There's always the risk of complications. Now, that being said, the complications are generally very, very low as long as your pet is healthy and in good body condition. Um, the most common complication from a neuter is going to be bleeding at the incision site. And this is because in order to do that procedure, we make two incisions in the scrotum to remove the testicles. And, so we have cut skin. And there's little blood vessels in there that clot and try to form a scab. But if that cat is especially active during recovery or after it gets home, those little blood vessels, the clots can break off, and all of a sudden you'll see some bleeding. That would be the most common complication that you'll see from that procedure, and the fix for that is to keep them restrained for confined. I shouldn't say restrained, confined to a small area for the next 24 hours immediately after surgery. Let's see. Trichomonas, trichinomosis in multiple cats. That's a problem. That is a very difficult thing to get cleared up, and I am going to refer you to a local veterinarian to talk about that. The best age to spay a female dog. There are numerous health benefits to spaying our dogs before they reach sexual maturity. And that is in general about 6 months of age. For small breed dogs, they can become mature a little bit earlier, about 5 months. For larger breed dogs, it can be 7 months, and for our giant breed dogs, it might even be closer to a year. But it's all within that first year of life. If we are able to spay our dogs prior to them having their first heat cycle, prior to them developing um, going into sexual maturity, we are able to virtually eliminate the risk that they will ever develop mammary cancer, which is one of the most common cancers in dogs. And by the time it's diagnosed, about half of the time it has already spread to other areas of the body. So by removing those hormones before they ever have a chance to do anything, we are able to eliminate that cancer issue completely. One of the big advantages then as well, especially as far as we're concerned with Spay Neuter Network, is that we're not going to have any unwanted puppies. All of a sudden, you say your dog's in the yard, no other dogs can get to it. But as I discovered when I was about 8 years old, male dogs are very good at climbing fences or digging under fences when they want to have a girlfriend. And the next thing you know, you've got Schnauzer mutt puppies 2 months later. And then, of course, the 8-year-old boy says, "Can we keep one?" And now everyone's got a new dog, and it's a thing. So, getting them spayed before that ever happens eliminates that as an issue. Another large benefit is that you will never have to deal with your dog developing a pyometra, which is an infection of the uterus that is often fatal if not addressed quickly, and that turns your inexpensive healthy dog spay into a several $1,000 I'm a very sick dog spay. So we're able to eliminate that as a problem later on in life as well. So all kinds of benefits to doing it prior to their first heat cycle. There is some evidence that shows that larger breed dogs do better as far as their joint development goes if you wait until they are about a year old. So that would be another option. You lose some of the benefits of that early age spay as far as a cancer protection benefit goes, but um, if you are concerned about arthritis and development of their development over time, you might wait until a year to do that. But a year tops is the ideal age to get them spayed. So how can I tell if my cat has ringworm without seeing anything on their skin? So ringworm is a fungal infection, and it is found very commonly. It's very common in the environment, just in the soil. It's out there. If your pet does not have any kind of a lesion on their skin, which typically presents as an area of hair loss and some crusty skin, then there's really no way to know. They certainly are not clinical for ringworm, and in that case, there's you don't really have anything to worry about there. But if you are seeing hair loss in any particular area, then ringworm is a concern. It's especially common in kittens. It's more common in long-haired cats than in short-haired cats. And there are a couple of different ways that veterinarians can test for that. One of the easiest ways is to use a special light to shine on the pet's fur, and the fungus will glow under that light. There's also you can also do fungal cultures, or there's now a fungal genetic test where they can quickly isolate the ringworm fungus if it's present there. So it is chilly. It's chilly in San Antonio, and it is chilly, but even chillier a little further up north. So, one of the things I wanted to spend a few moments talking about is what to do with our pets when it's cold. Um, Dogs have fur, and we don't. We have to wear coats, and but every dog is an individual, and dogs can get cold at much lower temperatures than than um, than you might expect. If I'm a little 2 pound Chihuahua, I'm going to get colder much faster than if I'm a 90-pound Great Pyrenees. When the temperature drops to 20 degrees, which is really, really cold, that is the temperature at which any dog is going to start to suffer from hypothermia and has the potential for frostbite. So that is absolutely the most dangerous level of cold that you would want. And we don't want our pets to be in that kind of cold. And we really, we don't want them to be uncomfortable. A lot of it gets, that first cold front after the summer, it feels great. Everyone's outside running around, and that's great for a little bit. But if you don't want to be out in that all the time. Dogs generally can do well in the cold weather, especially as long as they are dry and as long as it's not windy outside. Both of those being wet and having wind blowing against you causes your body temperature to drop much faster than if you're simply out in a cold environment without those factors. Dogs that are smaller will also lose body heat faster than dogs that are larger. They have a larger body surface area than large dogs do, and they will get cold much faster. One of the interesting things is that if you notice when a dog curls up in a little ball when it's if it's cold and they're sleeping with their little nose tucked up there by their tail, they are actually reducing their exposed skin to about 60% of what it is normally. So that is a method that they're actually using to try to keep themselves warm and to trap their body heat inside. You want to know how your dog does as an individual when it's cold outside. If your dog goes outside and it's shivering, it doesn't want to be out there. That's too cold. If your dog's out there and running around, y'all are chasing the ball and they're generating a lot of body heat and using up a lot of energy, they're going to be okay as long as you're out there. But when you're done playing, they're gonna want to cool off. They're going to want to get out of the cold weather just like you will. If your dog is going to be out on a cold surface for a long period of time or out in the snow, dog boots are a great investment in protecting their toe pads and their digits from getting frostbite, from getting snow packed in between their toes, and getting their feet too cold. So little boots that they you can find those. They will make a big difference in the comfort of your pet. If you have an outside dog and the dog lives outside, there's some things that you really want to keep in mind, and that is that that dog has to have some sort of a house that it can get into that will get it out of the elements. That house wants to be made so that it's turned away from the wind, so the wind can't blow in, and it wants to have no leaks, so that if it's rainy, no water can get in there, so the dog can get out of the rain. It needs to be large enough for the dog to stand up and turn around, but it needs to be small enough that it will actually help to trap the body heat so that they're able to keep themselves warm. You'll want to have some sort of substrate on the bottom of the dog house, whether that's a blanket or a towel or something that they can lay on, and you will want to have the actual doghouse be lifted up off of the ground so that it's not directly in contact with the cold ground, because they'll lose body heat through that contact as well. Um, Remember that water freezes when it gets really cold. We always want our pets to have access to free access to water all the time. And if it's getting cold, even if it hasn't quite gotten to freezing yet, that water is going to be too cold for that dog to comfortably drink it. It's actually going to make them colder when they drink it. So you want them to have a protected water source that's not going to freeze, that hopefully is not just going to be out there in the open where it's the same temperature as the outdoors. Cats. Cats like to be nice and warm. And if you have a cat that's outside, or you have an indoor outdoor cat, when it's cold outside, keeping that cat indoors is going to be the way to go. One of the things that cats will do when they're outside is they'll look for the warmest place to go and curl up, and unfortunately, one of those warmest places is someone's car that they have just parked in the driveway and gone inside, because that engine's nice and warm and it's out of the wind and it's out of the rain, and cats will go and climb up underneath the car and up around that engine block, and then they'll fall asleep there, they'll be there, and then the person will go back out to their car, turn on their car, and when they do that, the cat gets injured and sometimes killed. So um, if you have an outdoor cat or an indoor outdoor cat, keep that cat inside when it's cold. And then if when you're going out to your car, if you know that there's neighborhood cats, or even if you don't, bang on that hood of your car a couple of times really hard, and that way any cat that's in there will get frightened and run out, which is far better than getting crunched in your engine. Um, so those are all some things to keep in mind while our pets are dealing here with our colder seasons. An interesting thing is, we need to shiver. We shiver when to stay warm, and cats will shiver to stay warm, and they have to be pretty cold for them to actually start to shiver. When you see them shivering, you definitely want to get them warmed up and in some place that will where they'll be protected from the elements. If you could capture all of the energy that you use to shiver in an hour, you would be able to instantly boil a pot of water. It's an amazing way of trying to keep your core body temperature warm for a long time. But it only works for so long, and it uses a lot of energy and a lot of calories to do that. So you can't do it forever, and it's not effective much at all if you are cold, if you are wet, or if it's windy. So if you see your pet shivering, time to go inside. Speaking of going inside, if you would like to visit with our executive director and some of the staff from Spay Neuter Network, they will be at White Rock Brewing Company tomorrow, Thursday, from 5 to 7 for the Paws and Pints event, which sounds really awesome to me. Go out there, bring your pet, drink some beer, visit with some really good people, and just have a great time. So that is going on tomorrow from 5 to 7. Make sure that if you're in the area or you just feel like getting out, sounds like a good thing to do. We will also, Spay Neuter Network will also be having two completely free FVRCP and parvo distemper vaccine events coming up this month, January. The first will be January 20th in Fort Worth, and the second will be January 29th in Richardson. Free FVRCP for the cats, free parvo distemper for the dogs. January 20 in Fort Worth, January 29 in Richardson. You can get more information on that and pretty much anything else going on with Spay and Neuter Network if you go to spayneuternet.org. My dog's teeth and gums are becoming stained. A certain treat for cleaning. What's the process for a cleaning? Okay, so keeping your dog's mouth clean and the breath a little fresher, there's a few things that you can do. Number one is that if your pet will tolerate it, brushing their teeth is a great thing to do. Some dogs and some cats love it, a lot of them don't. But it's the kind of thing when if you have a new puppy and kitten, if you use some positive reinforcement and do that, they will tolerate it very very well. You do not want to use human toothpaste for that. They make dog and cat toothbrushes. The dog ones kind of look like a modified human toothbrush. The cat ones look like a little bristle thing that you put on the end of your finger. And then you want to use dog pet toothpaste, which is usually chicken or delicious liver flavored. And it's safe for them, of course, to swallow and eat while you're brushing their teeth. Now, a lot of animals will not be up for that, or maybe you're not up for that, and that's okay. There are several treats available that are designed to help clean the teeth. These are usually labeled as dental treats, and you want to get the and you want to get ones that are certified by a veterinary group, and that means that they have been tested and approved, and that they will actually do something. Now, brushing is great, dental treats are great, but nothing can replace a dental cleaning from your veterinarian. And what that involves is general anesthesia because dogs will not open their mouths wider or sit still while we try to take x rays of their mouths or anything like that. So they have to be anesthetized. And then we will go in and we'll scale their teeth below the gum and above the gum. And while we're there, we will check for any evidence of tooth decay. And if necessary, teeth can be removed, or we can do some things to help to preserve that tooth, so that they get to keep it a little bit longer. Um, and then those teeth will be polished because the act of cleaning those teeth creates little tiny micro grooves in the teeth, and that happens when we get our teeth cleaned as well, and that's why you polish them at the end to take care of those. Um, and that's how that works in a nutshell. Smaller breed dogs tend to have more problems developing dental tartar and getting plaque on their teeth than large breed dogs do. It's not uncommon for a smaller breed dog like a Chihuahua or a Yorkie to have their teeth cleaned, and then 6 months later their teeth need another cleaning. Whereas larger breed dogs, Labrador, Golden Retriever, your larger breed dogs, their teeth will stay relatively clean between yearly cleanings. And it's one of the best ways that we can protect their teeth, protect their oral health, make it so that they have fresher breath and have their teeth for as long as they can for their entire lives. Every now and then, I think about watching the dogs kiss one of my kids, and I'm like, ooh, it's probably been a while since those teeth have been cleaned, and it reminds me that I should probably do that at some point. So that is the best thing to do there. I wanted to say again here as we're kind of winding down. Um, Thank you so much to everybody that has supported and does support our mission here at Spay Neuter Network. Thank you to those who have donated, made any kind of a donation to what we do. Every dollar counts. If you haven't given anything this year, please consider sending whatever you can to us. We do some amazing things. We make sure people can stay with their pets as long as they possibly can. We maintain their pets' health as long as we possibly can, and we are we're dedicated to doing that, and we're dedicated to doing it better all the time. So if you're able to make any kind of a donation, please do so. Thank you again to Fish City Grill and Lake Highlands for their 15% donation of all of their proceeds to support us yesterday. And remember that they'll be having another spay neuter event going on March 5th. And let's see. Another question about recommending a male puppy. What age? 2 to 6 months is the ideal age. The sooner the better. They don't know whatever happened, and then you are not with the neutering dog with neutering them. You are stopping them from ever learning how to start marking their territory. So you don't have that. You don't have the embarrassing thing when company comes over and they're still intact and they decide that someone's leg looks good, and they're all of a sudden they're all over that person. You don't have to deal with that. And later in life, they would almost every intact dog will develop an enlarged prostate, and that can lead to urinary issues and to issues pooping, defecating. And the cure for that is getting them neutered. And when they're older and that's kind of happening, they often will have other health concerns as well. So getting it done while they're perfectly healthy and young is a great time to do that, and you don't have to deal with don't have to be concerned with any other other issues that might be going on with their health. Remember that tomorrow we will be out at White Rock Brewing for Paws and Pints, and we'll be there from 5 to 7. So finish up at work, head on out there, enjoy a pint, and enjoy some paws. Remember that here in the new year, we have $20 neuters in all of our North Texas clinics for this month. That um, You can't beat that. You will never ever be able to beat that price for that procedure. So if you have any inkling of doing that, this is the month to get it done. And it's a bargain, and it's great for your dog's health. So please go ahead and get that done now if you can. And remember, as far as vaccines go, vaccines are one of the most important things that we can do to keep our pets healthy. Free FVRCP clinics and free parvo distemper vaccine events coming up on January 20th in Fort Worth and January 29th in Richardson. Any information that you need regarding those events, Paws and Pints, anything else that's going on with Spay Neuter Network, where we're going to be next, what other events we're going to be involved with, spayneuternet.org is where you want to go for all of the latest information on all of the cool things that we're doing. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope it's the best year you've had so far. I know for Spay Neuter Network, it will be the best year that we have had so far. We are dedicated to what we do, and we're so happy about what we do, and so happy with just so happy that we have so many people that are out there to support us and believe in this mission with us. We couldn't do this without y'all. there's just so much that goes on with that goes into the things that we do, and if we don't have the support of the community and the support of people like y'all, it could never happen like it does. Thank y'all so much for your time today. We'll be back in a month for another round of our live event. Have a great evening. Bye bye.